Welcome back. Today we're exploring one of the most fascinating yet often overlooked institutions in A Song of Ice and Fire, the Iron Bank of Braavos. While readers focus on dragons and White Walkers, Martin has quietly built one of the most realistic and terrifying power structures in fantasy literature. So what exactly is the Iron Bank, and why should we fear them more than any army? The Iron Bank of Braavos was founded by former slaves who escaped the Valyrian freehold when they established the secret city of Braavos. These former slaves brought with them knowledge of finance and trade from their time in Valyria. When they founded Braavos in the Secret Lagoon, they brought with them not just their freedom, but their financial expertise. The Iron Bank became their weapon, not of war, but of economic dominance. Unlike the great houses of Westeros who hoard gold in their treasuries, the Iron Bank understands that money only has power when it's in motion. They lend to kings, princes, merchant princes, and anyone else who needs capital, but always with interest and always with the expectation of repayment. If you are enjoying the video, please consider subscribing. I'm working toward 1,000 subs. The bank doesn't just lend money, they facilitate trade across the known world. When ships sail from Braavos to King's Landing or from Old Town to Pentos, they often carry Iron Bank letters of credit. This makes the bank essential to global commerce. Here's what makes the Iron Bank truly terrifying. Their reputation for collecting debts is absolute. No one has ever successfully defaulted on an Iron Bank loan and lived to tell about it. As the saying goes in Braavos, the Iron Bank will have its due. This isn't just a threat, it's a statement of historical facts. The bank has outlasted kings, toppled dynasties, and destroyed entire merchant families who thought they could avoid their debts. The Iron Bank is governed by a council of keyholders, wealthy Braavosi citizens who collectively make decisions about major loans and policies. Unlike a single ruler who might be swayed by emotion or personal relationships, the keyholders make decisions based purely on financial logic. This collective leadership makes the bank incredibly stable. Kings die, but the Iron Bank endures. Individual keyholders may pass away, but the institution continues with the same ruthless efficiency. When someone defaults on an Iron Bank loan, they don't send sellswords or assassins, at least not immediately. First, they destroy the debtor economically. They call in all related loans, freeze trade relationships, and use their influence to isolate the debtor from legitimate commerce. If economic pressure fails, then the Iron Bank turns to more direct methods. They fund the debtor's enemies, finance rebellions, and support rival claimants. They don't need to kill you themselves, they'll simply make sure someone else does it for them. The Iron Bank's influence extends far beyond Braavos. They have agents and correspondents in every major city from Old Town to Korth. When a merchant in King's Landing needs to send payment to a supplier in Tyrosh, they often use Iron Bank services. This global network means the bank knows about political developments, trade disruptions, and economic opportunities before most rulers do. Information is power, and the Iron Bank has the best information network in the world. Traditional military power is limited by geography and logistics. You can't march an army across the narrow sea without ships, and you can't maintain soldiers without gold. But economic power crosses borders instantly and strikes at the foundation of all political authority. When the Iron Bank decides to destroy you, they don't need to besiege your castle or defeat your armies. They simply make it impossible for you to pay your soldiers, feed your people, or maintain your power base. Economic warfare is often more effective than traditional warfare. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the Iron Bank is their patience. They think in terms of generations, not years. If they can't collect from you, they'll collect from your children. If not your children, then your grandchildren. This long-term perspective makes them incredibly dangerous. They can afford to wait decades for the right opportunity to strike. Meanwhile, their debtors age, die, and leave their obligations to heirs who may be less capable of defending themselves. The Iron Bank represents something unprecedented in fantasy literature, a realistic portrayal of how financial power can dominate political power. Martin has created an institution that feels genuinely modern and terrifying. In a world where everyone focuses on who has the biggest army or dragons, the Iron Bank quietly controls the gold that makes armies and dragons possible. They don't need to conquer territories because they can control them economically. The Iron Bank of Braavos isn't just a bank, it's the closest thing the known world has to a global government. They don't rule through violence or ideology, but through the simple, inexorable logic of debt and interest. While kings and lords play their games of thrones, the Iron Bank plays a deeper game, one where the rules are simple, the stakes are absolute, and the house always wins. In Martin's world, the most terrifying words aren't winter is coming or fire and blood, they're the Iron Bank will have its due. Thanks for watching. If you want more, there's a video on screen somewhere.